Your life is not happening to you, it is happening through you. Everything you see, experience, and feel is a direct reflection of the energy you carry within. If you wish to change your future, you must first shift your energy. You do not manifest by chasing, begging, or struggling. You manifest by becoming. You must assume the energy of your desired future, and reality will bend to your assumption. Right now, there exists an infinite number of versions of you. One who is abundant, one who is thriving, one who is in love. These possibilities are not far away. They are here, waiting for you to embody them. The question is not if you can have it, but are you willing to feel as if you already do? When you live in the feeling of your wish fulfilled, your subconscious mind receives the signal that it is real, and it sets in motion events, circumstances, and opportunities to match that inner state. There is no force in the universe more powerful than the conviction of the one who believes. Do not look outside for proof. The world is merely a mirror reflecting back the assumptions you hold. If you see lack, it is because you expect it. If you see delays, it is because you assume they must be. Change your assumption, and reality will follow. Release the need to know how your desire will come. That is not your concern. Your only task is to persist in the knowing that it is already yours. Do not let fleeting appearances deceive you. Hold fast to the feeling and watch the world conform. Your future is not waiting for you, it is waiting on you. Shift your energy and watch your life unfold in ways you never thought possible. Now close your eyes, feel it, breathe it in. It is already done. The world you see before you is not separate from you. It is not something happening to you, but rather something happening through you. Your experiences, circumstances, and even the people who enter your life are all reflections of the energy you carry within. If you truly wish to change your reality, you must first change the energy you emit. There is no other way. Energy is not an abstract concept. It is the very essence of your being. It is the thoughts you entertain, the emotions you dwell in, and the assumptions you hold about life. Everything that unfolds in your world is shaped by these unseen forces within you. When you understand this, you no longer feel like a victim of circumstances. Instead, you awaken to your power, the power to shift your energy, and in doing so, transform your life. Have you ever noticed how people in the same environment experience vastly different realities? Two individuals can walk through the same world, yet one sees only obstacles while the other sees endless opportunities. One constantly encounters disappointment while the other attracts abundance. What makes the difference? It is not the external world, it is the energy they carry within. Every moment you are radiating a frequency, much like a radio tower sending out signals. This frequency is determined by what you habitually think, feel, and believe. And just like a radio station tunes into a specific frequency to receive a broadcast, your life tunes into a reality that matches your dominant vibration. If you are constantly dwelling in thoughts of lack, frustration, or fear, you will find those very experiences echoing back to you. But if you shift your energy, if you cultivate a state of inner peace, gratitude, and certainty that all is working in your favor, your external world must adjust accordingly. This is not mere philosophy. It is an unbreakable law. What you hold within is what you experience without. The world is your mirror, reflecting back to you the contents of your mind and heart. When you truly grasp this, you no longer react to the world as if it is something outside of you. Instead, you recognize that it is a projection of your inner state, and with this awareness, you can begin to change it from within. So how do you shift your energy? How do you change what you are broadcasting to the world? The answer lies in where you place your attention. Your energy flows where your focus goes. If you dwell on problems, they expand. If you fixate on what is missing, the feeling of lack grows stronger. But the moment you shift your focus, to gratitude, to possibility, to the feeling of already having what you desire, your entire vibration changes. You do not have to force reality to change, you only have to change yourself. When you step into the energy of already having, already being, already experiencing what you desire, the external world will begin to move in ways that seem almost magical. Doors will open, people will appear. Circumstances will shift in your favor, not because you are manipulating the outside world, but because you have changed the vibration you are offering. Many people spend their lives trying to fix external conditions while ignoring the root cause, the energy they carry within. They seek wealth while vibrating in scarcity. They seek love while radiating insecurity. They seek peace while dwelling in worry. But the truth remains. You cannot receive what you are not aligned with. The universe does not respond to your wishes, it responds to your state of being. So instead of asking, when will my reality change? Ask, what energy am I embodying right now? Because the answer to that question determines everything. Change your energy and reality has no choice but to follow. It is law. There is a secret hidden in plain sight, one that governs every aspect of your reality. It is not effort, struggle, or external action that determines what unfolds in your life, but the state of being you occupy. Everything you desire, every dream you long to see materialized already exists in the unseen. The only thing standing between you and its realization is the feeling of separation you hold. When you dissolve that separation by embodying the state of already having it, the outer world must conform. Most people live in a state of waiting. They wait for external confirmation before they allow themselves to feel fulfilled, successful, or loved. They say, once I have the money, then I will feel abundant. Once I find love, then I will feel worthy. Once my circumstances change, then I will be at peace. But this is completely backward. It is not the outer world that changes first, it is the inner world. The feelings you withhold from yourself, thinking they are dependent on outside events, are the very things that must come first. To live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled means to no longer see your desire as something far away. It is no longer something you hope for, pray for, or wonder about. It is something you claim, something you step into with full conviction. The mind may argue, but I do not see it yet. That is irrelevant. Your senses are simply reflecting the past, the old assumptions you once held. If you continue to define your reality by what your eyes see and your ears hear, you will remain trapped in the cycle of the old. The way out is to feel beyond appearances, to assume that what you desire is already yours. Close your eyes for a moment and think of something you deeply wish to experience. It may be wealth, love, success, or freedom. Now, instead of longing for it, step into it. Imagine the feeling of having it right now. How does it feel to wake up in the reality where your wish is fulfilled? What emotions arise? Is it joy, confidence, security, gratitude? Let those feelings flood your being. Do not allow the mind to interrupt with questions of how or when. Simply exist in that state. When you do this, something extraordinary begins to happen. The more you occupy the feeling of already having, the more natural it becomes. Your subconscious mind, which does not distinguish between real and imagined experiences, begins to accept it as truth. And once something is accepted as truth within, the outer world must shift to reflect it. This is not wishful thinking or daydreaming. It is a profound shift in identity. You are not pretending, you are becoming. The person who already has what you desire thinks, feels, and behaves differently than the person who is still longing. And as you persist in this new state of being, reality will reshape itself to match the energy you now embody. You may not see changes immediately, but do not let that deceive you. Just as a seed planted in the soil takes time to break through the surface, your new state of being is already at work beneath the visible. Those who do not understand this process will abandon their assumption too soon, returning to doubt and delay. But those who persist, those who refuse to return to the old state of lack, will witness the miraculous unfold before their very eyes. Everything you seek is already here. The question is, will you claim it? Will you allow yourself to feel it before you see it? If you can answer yes, if you can step into the energy of already being, doing, and having all that you desire, then you will come to understand the greatest truth of all. Your state of being creates your world. Everything you desire, everything you believe to be in your future already exists. It is not waiting for you somewhere in time. It is here now in the unseen, waiting for you to recognize it, claim it, and assume it as real. The greatest illusion is the belief that the future is separate from you, that it is something ahead of you, something you must reach. But the truth is that all power, all creation, all possibility exist in this present moment. The only thing that determines whether you experience your desired reality is your ability to assume its reality now. Most people live their lives projecting their desires into the future, always thinking in terms of one day. They say, one day I will be wealthy, one day I will be loved, one day I will be successful. And because they place their desires outside of the present moment, they keep them at a distance. They do not realize that by assuming their desires are in the future, they are also assuming that they are not here now. And as long as they continue to think that way, they will forever chase a tomorrow that never arrives. The secret to manifesting is to collapse time, to stop waiting and start being. You must understand that the version of you who already has what you desire is not separate from you. It is a state of consciousness that you can step into at any moment. When you assume that what you desire is already real, already done, you shift into alignment with it, and because the outer world is simply a reflection of your inner state, it must, in time, mirror your new assumption. To assume your desire is real now does not mean pretending or forcing belief. It means fully embodying the energy of already having it. It means thinking from your desire rather than thinking of it. The difference is subtle but profound. When you think of your desire, you are an observer, someone who acknowledges that what they want exists but does not yet possess it. But when you think from your desire, you shift into the identity of the one who already has it. You no longer hope or wish, you know. Your mind may resist this idea. It will argue, but I don't see it yet. How can I believe in something that has not happened? This is where most people falter. They rely on their senses to confirm what is real, never realizing that the outer world is only a delayed reflection of the inner. You cannot wait for evidence before you assume something is true. You must declare it is real within, and only then will it take shape externally. Everything you experience is the result of past assumptions. If you want a new reality, you must adopt a new assumption now. Do not wait for circumstances to change before you shift your state of being. Be the person who already has what they desire, and the world will follow. This is the power of the present moment. It is the only point of creation. The past no longer exists except in memory, and the future is not something ahead of you. It is something you are constantly shaping with your current state of consciousness. If you could fully grasp this, you would never again feel stuck or powerless. You would realize that nothing is missing, nothing is out of reach. The only thing required is your willingness to shift your awareness, to step into the now with the conviction that what you seek is already yours. Let go of the illusion of time. Assume it is done, and the world will rearrange itself to make it so. Your thoughts are not passive. They are not fleeting, meaningless whispers in the background of your mind. They are commands, direct orders issued to the unseen forces that shape your reality. Every thought you entertain with conviction, every assumption you persist in is an instruction given to the subconscious mind, which in turn molds your life to reflect it. Whether you realize it or not, you are constantly shaping your destiny through the thoughts you allow to dominate your mind. Most people believe they are at the mercy of circumstances, that life happens to them, and that their thoughts are mere reactions to what they see. But this is the great misunderstanding. Your thoughts are not reflections of your reality. Your reality is a reflection of your thoughts. It simply accepts them as truth, question, or filter your thoughts. It simply accepts them as truth and works tirelessly to bring them into physical form. Consider the way the subconscious operates. It does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It only responds to the impressions you feed it. This is why a nightmare can cause your body to react with fear, even though there is no real danger. Your subconscious accepts the imagined danger as real, and your body responds accordingly. Now apply this understanding to your waking life. If you constantly think thoughts of lack, struggle, or unworthiness, your subconscious mind will take those as instructions and shape your world to reflect them. This is why it is crucial to become aware of the thoughts you entertain. Every repeated thought becomes a command, reinforcing itself until it solidifies into belief. And once a belief is formed, it governs the way you experience reality. If you believe you are unlucky, your subconscious will orchestrate events that confirm that assumption. If you believe you are not worthy of success, you will subconsciously sabotage opportunities that could lead you there. Not because life is against you, but because you have instructed your subconscious to create a world where that belief remains true. Now consider the power of deliberately choosing your thoughts. If your subconscious is always listening, always responding, then why not issue commands that align with the life you truly desire? Instead of thinking in terms of limitations, start affirming the reality you wish to experience. Do not say, "I hope to be successful one day." That is not a command. It is uncertainty. Say, "I am successful now." Do not say, "I wish I had financial freedom." Instead declare, "I am financially free." By doing this, you are programming your subconscious with new instructions, and as you persist in them, your outer world must shift to match. This does not mean forcing thoughts or battling negative emotions. It means redirecting your focus, becoming intentional about what you feed your mind, and disciplining yourself to reject thoughts that contradict your desired reality. Just as you would not plant weeds in a garden and expect flowers to grow, you cannot fill your mind with doubts and expect success to flourish. Guard your thoughts as you would guard something precious, for they are the seeds of your future. If you could understand that every thought you dwell upon is a cause, and every experience in your life is an effect, you would begin to take your mental activity seriously. You would no longer allow your mind to wander aimlessly into fear, worry, and self-doubt. You would choose thoughts of abundance, love, and certainty, knowing that the universe is responding to them as instruction. Your destiny is not something you wait for, it is something you create moment by moment, thought by thought. Choose wisely and the world will rearrange itself to reflect the reality you have commanded. One of the greatest barriers to manifestation is the mind's obsession with control. Its need to figure out how things will unfold, how the pieces will come together, how the path will be laid out. This need for control is rooted in doubt. It is the belief that if you do not personally arrange every detail, your desire may not materialize. But this thinking is precisely what blocks the very thing you wish to bring into existence. Understand this: your role in the process of creation is not to micromanage the details, but to assume the end result is already done. It is not your job to determine how your desire will come to pass. It is only your job to dwell in the certainty that it will. When you attach yourself to the how, you are operating from the level of logic, of reason, of human limitation. But manifestation does not work through logic. It works through unseen forces far beyond what the conscious mind can comprehend. If you were planting a seed in the soil, would you spend every moment digging it up to check if it is growing? Would you demand to know exactly how the roots are forming beneath the surface? No. You would plant the seed, water it, and trust that nature will take care of the rest. The same principle applies to manifestation. Your desire is the seed. Your belief is the water. But if you constantly question how it will happen, you disrupt the process, just as pulling a seed out of the soil would prevent it from growing. When you truly trust, you release all attachment to the mechanics of manifestation. You stop questioning whether the right people will appear, whether the right opportunities will align, whether the steps will make sense. You simply assume it is already done, and you move forward as if it were inevitable. And when you do this, the unseen forces of the universe begin to arrange circumstances in ways that defy logic. There is an intelligence greater than your conscious mind at work, one that does not operate through struggle, effort, or worry. It works through alignment. It knows the shortest, most effortless path to bring your desire into reality, but it can only do so if you step out of the way. If you cling to doubts, if you insist on figuring everything out, you disrupt the natural flow. The more you let go, the more you allow this intelligence to work on your behalf. Think of a river. When you are in the current, you can either surrender to the flow or fight against it. The current already knows where it is going. It does not need your interference. But if you resist, if you try to swim upstream, you create struggle for yourself. In the same way, when you let go of the how and trust, you move effortlessly with the current of creation. Things begin to unfold naturally, often in ways you never could have planned. This is why those who master manifestation do not spend time worrying about details. They do not concern themselves with whether their desire is realistic. They do not analyze every step. They hold the end result in their mind and trust that the bridge of events will unfold in perfect timing. They do not chase opportunities. They become the person who already has what they desire, and the right opportunities come to them. Detachment from the how is not about being passive. It is about stepping into a higher state of knowing. It is about recognizing that your limited perspective cannot see the infinite possibilities available to you. The moment you release your grip on the details, you make space for the miraculous. The path will reveal itself not through force, but through effortless alignment. So release the need to control. Assume your desire is already yours. Trust that the unseen forces are arranging everything in perfect order. And when the time is right, you will see that the manifestation of your desire was never in question. It was always destined to unfold. Faith is the unseen force that shapes reality. It is the bridge between what is and what will be. Most people falter because they allow their faith to waver when circumstances do not change immediately. They look at the world around them, see no evidence of progress, and begin to doubt. But this is the great misunderstanding. The external world is merely a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. It does not dictate what is possible. It only shows what has been accepted up to this point. If you wish to create a new reality, you must persist in your assumption, despite what the world seems to tell you. Understand that every transformation begins in the unseen. Just as a seed does not immediately sprout the moment it is planted, your desires do not always materialize instantly. There is a gestation period, a time where unseen forces are moving, shifting, arranging circumstances to bring your assumption into physical form. This is where faith is required. It is easy to believe in something when there is visible proof, but true power lies in holding the vision before any evidence appears. Doubt is what weakens creation. It interrupts the process. When you question whether your assumption will come to pass, you are sending mixed signals to your subconscious. One moment you declare your desire as done, the next you wonder if it will happen at all. This inconsistency prevents manifestation because the subconscious mind does not work with uncertainty. It responds only to what is persistently impressed upon it. If you wish to see change, you must assume the reality you desire with conviction and refuse to entertain opposing thoughts. Consider a sculptor working on a masterpiece. At first, the block of stone looks nothing like the finished vision. If the sculptor were to doubt halfway through and abandon the work, the masterpiece would never emerge. But with persistence, every strike of the chisel brings the vision closer to form. Manifestation works the same way. You must continue holding the inner image, refining it, believing in it, even when there is no visible proof. Many people give up just before their manifestation is about to break through. They hold faith for a while, but when the external world does not change quickly enough, they revert to their old assumptions. They let doubt creep in, and in doing so, they cancel out the progress they have made. This is why persistence is key. The moment you assume something to be true, it begins to take shape in the unseen. If you persist, it must harden into fact, it must come to pass. Faith does not mean forcing yourself to believe something against all logic. It means knowing that reality is shaped from within. It means refusing to let appearances dictate your belief. If you can see something clearly in your mind and persist in that assumption, the world will eventually conform to it. Think of the great inventors, visionaries, and leaders throughout history. They did not wait for external proof before believing in their ideas. They held firm to their vision, even when others doubted them. They persisted when there was no evidence of success. And because they refused to waver, their visions became reality. You must do the same. Hold firm in your assumption, no matter what the world appears to show you. If the external does not yet reflect your desire, it only means the process is still unfolding. Do not be deceived by appearances. The moment you accept something is true within, it is set in motion. And if you refuse to waver, if you persist in faith, it must materialize. This is the law. What you assume with conviction must come to pass. Not by chance, not by luck, but by the unshakable truth that the unseen shapes the seen. So stand firm. Do not look to the world for confirmation. Look within. Persist and watch as your assumptions transform into reality before your very eyes. Everything you desire is already within you. The reality you seek is not something to chase, it is something to embody. Your energy, your assumptions, and your unwavering faith are the forces that shape the world around you. Shift your energy and the outer world must conform. Live in the feeling of the wish fulfilled and it will become your experience. Recognize that the present moment holds all power, for the future is simply a projection of your current state of being. Your thoughts are commands to the universe, shaping your destiny with every assumption you accept as true. Let go of the need to control how things will unfold, for the unseen forces are already working in your favor. Your only task is to hold firm in your vision, persisting with unwavering faith, knowing that what you assume must come to pass. Do not be deceived by appearances. Do not let doubt shake your conviction. Your inner world is the master key to all that you seek. Stand strong in the knowing that your reality is created from within, and the world will reflect it in due time. Trust, persist, and watch as your desired future manifests before your very eyes. Thank you. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this. The life you seek, the wealth you desire, the love you long for, it is already done. You are not waiting, you are not hoping. You are living in the feeling of fulfillment right now. The key to accelerating manifestation is not effort, but assumption. What do I mean? You do not struggle to become what you already are. If you truly believe you are wealthy, do you check your bank account in worry? If you truly believe you are loved, do you chase validation? The world is only a mirror. It reflects your internal state. You do not need time, you need conviction. Let me tell you something. You must stop waiting. Stop asking, when will it come? The moment you ask, you reveal that you do not yet believe it is yours. Instead, you must feel as if it is done. The secret is this. If you want to manifest faster, time cannot exist in your mind. You must live in the end. When you assume the wish fulfilled, you collapse time. You make the unseen seen. At night, before you sleep, sink into the state of your desire. Feel it as real. See yourself having it, being it, living it. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between imagination and reality. What you impress upon it must externalize. Silence is your power. The one who knows does not beg, does not chase, does not doubt. They simply assume and rest. Stop looking outside for proof. The proof comes after the assumption. The world cannot show you what you do not first claim within. Manifestation is not about waiting, it is about being. The moment you become, the world has no choice but to obey. Live in the knowing, walk in the certainty, and watch as your desires unfold 10x faster. There is a secret, a power hidden in plain sight, yet so few truly grasp it. It is the power of assumption. The moment you assume something to be real, it takes root in the unseen and must express itself in the physical world. This is not wishful thinking, it is the very essence of creation. Desire alone does not manifest. Wishing, longing, hoping, these are states of lack. When you desire something, you are confirming its absence. You are telling the universe, I do not have this, and so it remains just out of reach. But assumption is different. Assumption is the bridge between imagination and reality. It is the key that unlocks the door to rapid manifestation. Right now, look at your life. Everything you see, everything you experience is simply a reflection of past assumptions. You did not chase these circumstances, you assumed them, whether consciously or unconsciously. And because your assumption felt real to you, your subconscious mind accepted it as truth. The subconscious does not argue, it does not ask if something is logical or possible, it only accepts and executes. So what happens when you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled? You shift. You move from a state of longing to a state of having. You stop thinking, one day I will be wealthy, healthy, loved, and instead you say, I am already that. You walk differently. You speak differently. You think differently. Not because you are pretending, but because you know it is done. To assume correctly, you must learn the art of feeling. Feeling is the language of the subconscious. It is not enough to say, I am rich, I am successful, I am in love, if deep inside you feel poor, defeated, or lonely. The subconscious does not respond to empty words, it responds to emotion, belief, and certainty. If you can generate the feeling of already being what you desire, then the external world has no choice but to rearrange itself accordingly. Think about a memory. One so vivid that even now, if you recall it, you can feel the emotions as if it were happening again. Maybe it was a moment of joy, of sadness, of love. The experience is not physically present, but the feeling is real. Why? Because the mind does not distinguish between what is imagined and what is real. If this is true for the past, then it is also true for the future. You can select any reality, any experience, and bring it into the now by feeling it is real. Let's say you want financial abundance. Instead of longing for it, assume it. Close your eyes and feel the weight of wealth in your hands. Imagine looking at your bank account and seeing large sums of money. How would you walk if you knew money was never an issue? How would you breathe? How would you interact with others? Would you carry tension or would you move with ease? Or if you desire love, do not wait for someone to show up and prove it to you. Assume it now. Feel what it's like to be deeply cherished. Walk through your day as though love surrounds you. Speak to yourself as someone who is already in a fulfilling, beautiful relationship. The moment you do this, you shift states and the world must follow. But assumption is not a one-time act. It is a way of being. It is a perpetual knowing. You cannot assume once and then go back to doubting. You must persist no matter what the external world shows. If you plant a seed and then dig it up every day to check if it is growing, you will kill it before it has a chance to bloom. The same is true for manifestation. You must plant the assumption and trust. This is how you collapse time. This is how you manifest 10x faster. The moment you stop questioning, the moment you stop looking for evidence, the moment you simply assume and rest in that knowing, your world will shift in ways that seem miraculous. But it is not a miracle, it is simply the law. The concept of time as we know it is nothing more than an illusion, a construct designed to organize the flow of events in the physical realm. In reality, time is fluid, and the future is not a distant place waiting to unfold. It is simply a reflection of the state you hold in the present. The truth is, everything you desire, everything you seek already exists in the unseen realm. The key is to live in the end, to inhabit the state of having, rather than the state of wanting. We are conditioned to view life through the lens of time, always looking ahead, waiting for the future to bring us what we desire, but this mindset only perpetuates the cycle of longing and lack. We are constantly told to work toward our goals, to plan for the future, to wait for the right moment. Yet, in doing so, we disconnect ourselves from the reality that what we seek is already ours, just waiting for us to claim it. The unseen realm, the realm of the subconscious, does not operate in the linear fashion that we experience in the physical world. There, all things exist simultaneously. The idea of time as past, present, and future is irrelevant. The moment you accept that your desire already exists in the unseen, you begin to shift your consciousness. Instead of striving, instead of chasing or working hard to make something happen, you choose to live as if your desire is already fulfilled. To live in the end is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, to walk through your life as if what you desire is already yours. It is not enough to simply think about what you want, it is about fully embodying the feeling of already having it. When you mentally and emotionally reside in the end result, you are no longer tied to the process or the struggle. You no longer wait for external events to align before you can feel fulfilled. Instead, you make the assumption that your desire has already manifested, and that assumption is what shifts your external world. Think about it. When you live in the state of having, you are no longer in conflict with what is or what could be. You stop wishing for things because you already know they are yours. This is a powerful realization. You no longer need to search for validation, for approval, or for the manifestation of your desires in physical form. They are already yours in the realm of consciousness. The world around you is simply waiting to catch up to your assumption. When you choose to live in the end, you stop identifying with lack. You stop telling the story of someday and start telling the story of now. The feeling of fulfillment, of success, of love, or of wealth, whatever your desire is, becomes your new reality. As you live in the end, your external reality must adjust to reflect the state of being you've assumed. Just as a plant responds to the soil and environment in which it is planted, your reality will begin to mirror the state of consciousness you inhabit. Living in the end means that your external world does not dictate your feelings or thoughts. You dictate the world through your inner assumption. The moment you stop waiting for something outside of you to change and instead start living from the place of already having it, everything begins to shift. This is where the power lies, in the knowing that the desired outcome is already yours. You no longer chase, you no longer strive, you no longer hope. You simply rest in the certainty that what you seek is already in your possession. In this state, time becomes irrelevant. The more you persist in this assumption, the more quickly your physical reality will conform. The external world is merely a reflection of your inner state. When you live in the end, your state of being dictates what is manifesting in your life. You do not need to worry about how or when it will happen. Living in the end is a practice. It is not just about a momentary thought or feeling, but about a sustained belief in the truth of your desires. The moment you internalize that time is an illusion and that the reality you seek already exists in the unseen realm, your life begins to change in ways that are far beyond what you may have imagined. The end is not a distant destination, it is the now. And when you live in the end, the world cannot help but mirror it. The conscious mind is a remarkable tool. It is logical, analytical, and always seeking answers. It wants to know the how, the process, the steps, the plan. It's a part of our nature to question, to doubt, and to try to figure things out. But the truth is, creation is not bound by logic. The universe operates in a way that goes far beyond the reasoning of the conscious mind. In fact, the moment you try to figure out the how, you are limiting the infinite possibilities that are available to you. When you align with the state of fulfillment, you are aligning with the law of creation itself. You are entering a realm where the how does not matter. The moment you begin to wonder how something will happen, you step into the realm of doubt. You disconnect yourself from the energy of creation and place limits on the very thing you are trying to manifest. The how is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to align with the end result. Creation is not linear, and it does not follow the rules of logic. Think about it. If the physical world operated entirely by logic, we would still be in the Stone Age, searching for fire. Yet time and time again, we witness the impossible become possible. Great breakthroughs, profound manifestations, and miraculous events have all happened because someone dared to trust that the outcome they desired was already guaranteed. The conscious mind wants to control the process, but creation doesn't need control, it needs alignment. The universe works in mysterious ways, and the more you trust in the process, the more your desires come to you effortlessly. The key is to focus not on how things will happen, but on how you feel in the present moment. When you embody the feeling of your desire as already fulfilled, you are tapping into the essence of creation. The how will unfold naturally as a result of your internal alignment. Your job is not to figure out every detail. Your job is to remain in the state of having, feel it, live it, breathe it. Imagine you already possess what you desire and allow the emotions of that to consume you. Feel the joy, the gratitude, the satisfaction as if it's already part of your life. The moment you do this, you begin to unlock a flow of energy that transcends the limits of reason. Universe, operating in harmony with your inner state, will take care of the detail. Think of it this way. Imagine you have a destination in mind, but you don't know the exact route. If you get in the car and trust the navigation system, you don't need to understand every twist and turn along the way. You simply need to trust that the system knows the way and follow its guidance. The universe is your navigation system. It knows the path, it knows the timing, and it knows exactly how to bring your desires to fruition. The more you trust in the process, the more effortlessly the path becomes clear. When you focus on the how, you are essentially saying, I don't believe it will happen unless I understand every step. This doubt holds energy in opposition to your desire. The true magic happens when you drop the need to know how and simply trust that the outcome is already done. Trust that the bridge of events will unfold as needed and each moment will bring you closer to your manifestation without effort or strain. This is where the power of faith comes in. Faith is not blind belief. It is the confidence that the universe will provide what you have aligned with. When you trust the now, when you stop seeking answers and rest in the certainty that your desires are already being fulfilled, you open yourself to a flow of opportunities, people, events, and circumstances that will guide you to the manifestation of your dream. Creation is not bound by the limitations of the conscious mind. You do not need to figure out the how, because the how is already built into the fabric of the universe. The moment you align with the end result and trust in the process, the universe will bring everything together. The only thing required from you is to drop the need for control, embrace the present moment, and trust that the fulfillment of your desires is already in motion. The past is a collection of memories, experiences, and stories that have shaped the person you are today. However, those memories only hold the power that you allow them to have. The truth is, the past no longer exists. It is only a series of moments in time that have already passed, yet so many people carry it with them as though it defines who they are and who they are becoming. When you keep revisiting the past, you are unknowingly giving it power over your present and future. The only true reality is the one you now claim, the one you choose to step into right now. In order to manifest the life you desire, you must detach from the old story, the narrative of who you were, the mistakes you made, the limitations you believed in. That story is only relevant if you continue to tell it. It is no longer a reflection of your current self unless you choose to keep it alive. Every time you revisit old memories, every time you replay old patterns of thought and behavior, you are reinforcing the old story. But the truth is, that story no longer serves you. It is a story you can leave behind, just like an outdated book that no longer resonates with you. The key to transformation is not in the desire for change, but in the willingness to release what no longer aligns with your desired state. If you are carrying around beliefs that contradict your ideal reality, you are actively preventing yourself from stepping into that reality. Limiting beliefs such as, I'm not worthy, I can't have what I want, or my past defines my future are remnants of the old story. They may have once been true for you, but they don't have to be true now. Your past experiences do not define your future unless you allow them to. When you detach from the old story, you free yourself from the constraints of what you were told you could or could not have. You stop identifying with the limitations of your past mistakes, regrets, and fears. The only power the past holds is the power you give it through your thoughts. Each time you think back to a past failure or trauma, you recreate it in your mind, reinforcing the belief that it defines you. But once you stop revisiting it, once you stop giving it energy, it loses its hold over you. It's important to recognize that every moment is a new opportunity for reinvention. You are not bound by who you were yesterday, last year, or even 10 years ago. The only reality is the one you now claim. What you are choosing to believe about yourself in this moment is what will shape your future. If you want to manifest a new life, a new identity, and a new reality, you must begin by changing the story you tell yourself. The story you are telling today is a story that will shape your tomorrow. To release limiting beliefs, you must first become aware of them. Identify the beliefs that contradict your desires and examine where they came from. Did they originate in your childhood? Were they learned from the people around you? Did you adopt them through experiences of failure or disappointment? Once you recognize these beliefs, it becomes easier to release them. Remember, they are only beliefs. They are not permanent unless you continue to choose them. Next, replace those old beliefs with empowering ones that align with your desired state. If you have always believed you are unworthy of love or success, begin telling yourself a new story. Believe that you are deserving, capable, and worthy of everything you desire. As you do, your perception of yourself will shift, and so will your external reality. The world reflects back the thoughts and beliefs you hold. When you claim your desired state, the universe aligns itself to bring you experiences that match your new story. Detaching from the old story is about making a conscious decision to stop identifying with the past. It is about recognizing that you have the power to create your reality by choosing what to believe now. As you release limiting beliefs and step into the new narrative, you open yourself up to infinite possibilities. The only reality that matters is the one you choose to claim in this moment. Every day is a new opportunity to redefine who you are and what you are capable of. Don't let the past hold you back. You are free to write your own story from this point forward. The future is waiting for you, and it begins now. Your inner conversations are far more powerful than you may realize. Every thought you entertain, every word you speak to yourself is a command sent to the universe, signaling your desires and intentions. The internal dialogue that runs through your mind shapes your reality in ways you cannot see at first. But over time, these thoughts and conversations have a profound impact on the world you experience. You may not always be aware of it, but your thoughts are constantly communicating with the universe, and they are the blueprint for what manifests in your life. Think about it. Every thought you think is an affirmation, an instruction, a request. The universe responds to these inner commands, even the ones you don't consciously recognize. If your inner conversation is one of doubt, fear, or limitation, the universe will bring experiences to match those beliefs. If you believe that success is out of reach or that love is something you have to chase, those beliefs will show up as your reality. Conversely, when your inner dialogue is filled with thoughts of abundance, confidence, and fulfillment, the universe aligns itself to bring those desires into your life. The key is to monitor your inner dialogue and ensure that it aligns with your ideal state. You must become aware of the thoughts you entertain on a daily basis as they are shaping your future. If you consistently think thoughts of lack, struggle, or unworthiness, you are unknowingly reinforcing those states in your reality. The universe is impartial. It doesn't judge your thoughts, it simply responds to them. Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you are correct. Your inner conversations directly influence how you experience the world, and the more conscious you become of this fact, the more you can take control of your manifestation. To change your external reality, you must first begin by changing your internal dialogue. Speak to yourself with the same love, kindness, and encouragement that you would offer to your best friend. If you want to manifest abundance, stop telling yourself stories of struggle and scarcity. Start affirming that you are deserving of wealth and prosperity. If you want love, stop doubting your worthiness or believing that love is something you have to search for. Begin speaking to yourself as if you are already loved, cherished, and complete. The power of speaking as if it is done cannot be overstated. Every time you say, I am successful, I am loved, or I am worthy of all the abundance the universe has to offer, you are impressing these truths upon your subconscious mind. This is not wishful thinking or mere positive affirmations. This is the language of creation. When you speak as if your desires are already a reality, your subconscious mind begins to accept this new truth as your reality. The subconscious does not distinguish between what is imagined and what is real. It only knows what you repeatedly impress upon it. This inner conversation of already being and having is the key to rapidly manifesting your desires. Rather than waiting for something to happen in the external world before you can feel good, start feeling as if it has already happened. When you align your inner dialogue with the state of already having your desire, the universe has no choice but to respond in kind. The external world is a reflection of your inner state, and the more you nurture your inner conversations with positivity, certainty, and confidence, the more the world around you will shift to mirror that reality. It's important to recognize that this is not about ignoring reality or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about aligning with the future you want, even if it hasn't fully manifested in your physical experience yet. Speak as if your desires are already here, and the universe will work to bring them to fruition. Your inner conversation creates a ripple effect that extends far beyond your thoughts and words. It sets the tone for your emotions, your actions, and your experiences. So, pay close attention to what you are telling yourself on a daily basis. Are you speaking words of encouragement, affirmation, and belief in your success? Or are you allowing doubts, fears, and negative self-talk to dominate your inner dialogue? Your thoughts create your reality. By consistently speaking to yourself as if your desires are already fulfilled, you align with the highest version of yourself and step into the life you've always dreamed of. The universe is always listening, and it is ready to bring your inner conversations into reality. The moments before sleep are some of the most sacred times in the day. As the world quiets around you and your body begins to relax, you enter a unique state where your conscious mind starts to recede and your subconscious becomes more active. This is a precious window of opportunity for manifesting your desires, for it is in these final moments of conscious mind in ways that will shape your reality. Sleep is not just a physical rest, it is a powerful tool for transformation when used intentionally. In the moments leading up to sleep, your mind is in a relaxed state, free from the distractions of the day. The chatter of the conscious mind slows down and your awareness begins to shift inward. This is the ideal time to plant the seeds of your desires. Your subconscious mind is most receptive during this time, as it is not hindered by the logical thinking of the conscious mind. It is open, suggestible, and able to absorb the thoughts and feelings you impress upon it. The thoughts you entertain before sleep have the potential to shape your reality in profound ways. This is why it is so important to drift into slumber feeling as if your desire is already yours. If you want to manifest abundance, love, success, or any other desire, take the time before sleep to embody the feeling of already having it. Close your eyes and imagine yourself living the life you desire. Feel the emotions that would arise if your dream were already a reality. Feel the joy, the peace, the gratitude, and the excitement as if it is happening now. By doing this, you are sending a clear signal to your subconscious mind that this reality is already in place, and the universe will begin to work in alignment with that belief. This practice is powerful because the subconscious mind does not differentiate between what is imagined and what is real. It accepts whatever you impress upon it, and when you enter a state of relaxation and calmness before sleep, the subconscious is like a fertile garden, ready to receive the seeds you plant. By focusing on your desires in this way, you create a powerful connection between your current state and your future reality. The more you allow yourself to feel as if you already have what you desire, the more the universe will conspire to bring it into your life. In addition to the power of sleep, there is a unique power in silence. In the quiet moments before sleep, when there are no distractions, no external noise, and no thoughts pulling you in different directions, you can connect deeply with your true self and your desires. Silence is a powerful tool for manifestation, as it allows you to tune into your inner world and connect with the unseen forces that are always at work. When you embrace silence, you create the space for clarity, inspiration, and guidance to flow into your consciousness. Many people spend their days filled with noise, rushing from one task to the next, without ever taking the time to listen to the whispers of the subconscious. But in the stillness before sleep, you can hear the subtle messages that guide you toward your desires. Silence allows you to attune to the energy of your desires and align with the vibration of what you want to create. It is in this space of quiet reflection that you can truly feel the presence of your desires. And that feeling is the key to manifestation. As you prepare for sleep, make it a habit to enter that space with a deep sense of trust and gratitude. Trust that the universe is already working to bring your desires to fruition. Trust that the unseen forces are aligning the perfect circumstances, people, and events to manifest your dreams. Gratitude amplifies the energy of your desires and signals to the universe that you are ready to receive. The more grateful you are, the faster you will see the results of your intentions. The power of sleep and silence lies in their ability to bypass the logical mind and speak directly to the subconscious, where all creation begins. The moments before sleep are a sacred opportunity to align with your highest desires and to plant the seeds of your dreams. As you drift into slumber, feel as if everything you have wished for is already yours. Let go of any doubts or fears and trust that the universe is already working to bring your desires into reality. The unseen forces are always at work, and when you allow them to operate in the quiet of the night, they can bring forth miracles beyond your imagination. In conclusion, the power to manifest your desires lies within you, and it begins with the thoughts you think, the words you speak, and the feelings you embody. The moments before sleep are a sacred opportunity to align yourself with the reality you wish to create, allowing the subconscious to absorb the belief that your desires are already fulfilled. Trust in the process, let go of limiting beliefs, and release the past that no longer serves you. By living in the end, assuming the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and maintaining an inner dialogue that aligns with your ideal state, you actively guide the universe to bring forth your desire. The universe is always listening, and when you harmonize your inner world with your dreams, the external world must shift to match it. Sleep and silence are powerful tools to access this deep transformative power. As you trust, release, and align with your desires, know that the unseen forces are already at work to bring them into your reality. Thank you for taking the time to connect with these powerful principles. Embrace them, live them, and watch as your life transforms in ways you never imagined. Thank you. My friend, I ask you now, how would you live if you knew, beyond all doubt, that you were already blessed with everything? If there was nothing missing, nothing lacking, nothing to chase, would you worry? Would you doubt? Would you fear? No. You would wake up with peace in your heart, move through your day with confidence, and rest at night, knowing that all is well. But here is the truth. You are already blessed. Everything you seek, everything you long for, already exists within you. You do not need to beg for it, nor struggle to achieve it. You only need to accept it. to claim it, to act as if it is already yours. Your world is a mirror, reflecting your assumptions back to you. If you assume lack, lack is what you see. If you assume struggle, struggle is what you find. But the moment you shift, when you begin to think, feel, and act as though you are abundantly blessed, your world must rearrange itself to confirm that truth. So what does this mean? It means that instead of praying from a place of emptiness, you give thanks as though the prayer has already been answered. Instead of hoping, you know. Instead of waiting, you live as though it is done. Do not look at what your eyes show you, for the eyes only see the past. Instead, see with the eyes of faith. Walk as though doors are already open. Speak as though every need is already met. Carry yourself as one who is whole, loved, and prosperous. And when doubt whispers, when fear knocks at the door, you do not entertain them. You simply return to your assumption. I am blessed. I have everything I need. It is already mine. Because the moment you act as if you are blessed with everything, without hesitation, without contradiction, the world has no choice but to bring it into form. So I ask you, will you claim it? Will you walk in the truth that all you desire is already yours? If so, then watch as your life transformed before your eyes. What you assume to be true about yourself and your life becomes your experience. Every moment, whether you are aware of it or not, you are shaping your reality through your thoughts, beliefs, and expectations. Life does not happen to you, it happens through you. Your inner world, your assumptions, emotions, and convictions is the blueprint that the outer world follows. When you assume yourself to be blessed, abundant, and whole, life must reflect that assumption back to you. This is not wishful thinking. It is a law as precise as gravity. Consider a person who constantly assumes that life is a struggle. They believe that no matter how hard they work, they will never have enough. What happens? They find themselves always in need, always facing obstacles, always lacking. Even when opportunities come their way, the assumption of lack blinds them to possibilities. They reject chances unconsciously, sabotage their progress, and reinforce the belief that life is unfair. They are not cursed, they are simply living out the script of their own assumptions. Now, imagine another person who assumes they are blessed, regardless of circumstances. They may not yet see material proof of their abundance, but inwardly they know it is theirs. They move with confidence, expect doors to open, and trust that life is working in their favor. When difficulties arise, they remain unmoved, for they know these are temporary shadows that cannot touch the deeper reality of their blessings. And what happens? Their world begins to shift. They attract opportunities, meet the right people, and experience synchronicities that seem almost miraculous. It is not luck. It is the manifestation of their assumption. The power of assumption is not about pretending or faking it until you make it. It is about deeply embodying the truth you wish to see in the world. It is about knowing beyond logic, beyond evidence, that you are already the person you desire to be. When you assume yourself to be blessed, your actions, thoughts, and emotions align with that truth. You carry yourself differently, speak with certainty, and radiate an energy that attracts the very things you seek. There is no force outside of you withholding your blessings. The only barrier between you and the life you desire is the assumption that you do not already have it. The moment you drop the belief in lack, the moment you stop seeing yourself as separate from your blessings, they begin to flow into your life effortlessly. But this requires discipline. It requires you to refuse to entertain doubt, to reject appearances that contradict your assumption, and to remain steadfast in the knowing that what you seek is already yours. Many people spend their lives reacting to circumstances, believing they are powerless, waiting for external changes before they allow themselves to feel joy, peace, or security. But this is backward. Your inner world must shift first. You must dare to assume the feeling of being blessed, even when your senses suggest otherwise. This is the great secret of creation. You do not receive and then believe. You believe first and then you receive. Think of a great actor who takes on a role. They do not merely recite lines, they become the character. They think as the character would think, feel as the character would feel, and immerse themselves so deeply in the role that the audience believes in the performance. The same principle applies to life. You must assume the state of being blessed so completely that it becomes second nature, until the world has no choice but to confirm it. So how do you begin? Start by speaking from the assumption of being blessed. Instead of saying, I hope things get better, say, I am grateful that everything is working out for me. Instead of worrying, trust. Instead of looking for signs of lack, look for signs of abundance. Train your mind to see evidence of your blessings, even in small ways, and soon they will grow beyond measure. When you live in the assumption that you are blessed, you step into a world where everything is working in your favor. People respond to you differently, situations unfold with ease, and what once seemed impossible becomes effortless. The change does not happen outside of you first, it happens within. Your world is nothing but a reflection of your deepest assumptions. Choose wisely and watch as life mirrors back the reality of your blessing. The universe does not respond to your words alone, nor to your external efforts, but to the feeling that resides within you. It is not enough to say that you are blessed, you must feel it. You must embody it. The feeling is the secret, for it is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, the inner world and the outer reality. Whatever you feel deeply and consistently, whether joy or sorrow, abundance or lack, will become the substance of your experience. Many people believe that if they struggle enough, work hard enough, or prove themselves worthy, then they will be blessed. But the universe does not operate on struggle, it operates on alignment. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. And what you are is determined by what you feel. If you feel anxious, unworthy, or uncertain, no matter how much effort you put forth, you will continue to encounter circumstances that reflect that inner state. Conversely, when you cultivate the feeling of already being blessed, the world around you begins to shift to match that vibration. Consider a person who constantly feels stressed about money. No matter how much they earn, no matter what opportunities come their way, their dominant feeling is that of lack and financial insecurity. That feeling, like a magnet, draws more lack into their life. Bills seem to multiply, unexpected expenses arise, and opportunities slip through their fingers. Why? Because their internal state is one of struggle, and the universe must conform to that. Now imagine another person who, regardless of their bank account balance, walks through life with the deep, unshakable feeling of abundance. They feel grateful for what they have, expect financial ease, and move with the quiet confidence of someone who knows they are taken care of. They do not let temporary circumstances dictate their inner world. And what happens? Opportunities arise effortlessly, money flows in unexpected ways, and life continually reaffirms their sense of wealth. They are not forcing abundance into their life, they are allowing it by aligning their feelings with the reality they desire. This principle applies to every area of life. If you desire love, do not dwell in the feeling of loneliness. Instead, feel love now. If you seek success, do not focus on struggle. Feel the satisfaction of achievement now. If you long for peace, do not entertain anxiety. Breathe deeply, relax, and embody peace now. The moment you assume the feeling of your desire fulfilled, you set the universe in motion to make it so. But you must be unwavering. Too often people shift between feelings, believing one moment and doubting the next. They feel abundant in the morning, then worry about their finances by nightfall. They feel confident in their dreams one day, then question everything the next. This inconsistency delays the manifestation of their desires. The universe is precise. It does not respond to fleeting emotions, but to deeply ingrained feeling. How then do you cultivate the right feeling? Begin by immersing yourself in gratitude. Gratitude is the gateway to abundance, for it shifts your focus from what is missing to what is already present. Instead of longing for blessings, recognize the blessings that already surround you, no matter how small. The more you feel gratitude, the more the universe gives you reasons to be grateful. Another way to develop the feeling of being blessed is through imagination. Close your eyes and picture yourself already living the life you desire. Feel the joy, the relief, the excitement as if it is happening now. Let those emotions flood your being. Your imagination is not fantasy, it is creation. The feelings you generate in those moments are shaping your future reality. And most importantly, trust. Do not concern yourself with how or when your desires will unfold. Your only task is to hold the feeling. If you can maintain the inner state of being blessed, the outer world must reflect it. This is not wishful thinking. It is law. The feeling is the secret, and when you master it, you master your reality. The physical world you see before you is nothing more than a reflection of past thoughts, past beliefs, and past assumptions. It is not reality in itself, but the shadow of what has already been imagined and felt within. If you wish to change your life, you must not react to what your senses currently show you. Instead, you must persist in the belief that you already have everything you desire, even when external evidence seems to contradict it. Most people live as prisoners of their senses, believing only in what they can see, hear, touch, and measure. They assume that reality is fixed and that they must work within its limits. If they see lack, they believe in lack. If they see struggle, they assume struggle must continue. They do not realize that by accepting appearances as truth, they are simply recreating the same conditions over and over again. They remain trapped in a cycle, unaware that the key to breaking free is to look beyond the senses and persist in a higher truth. To live as a creator rather than a reactor, you must learn to ignore appearances that do not align with your desires. If you desire financial abundance but your bank account says otherwise, do not dwell in frustration or fear. Instead, persist in the inner knowing that you are already abundant. Walk through life as if you possess limitless wealth, not in reckless spending, but in the quiet confidence that all your needs are met. If you long for love but find yourself alone, do not succumb to loneliness. Instead, feel deeply that you are already surrounded by love, already cherished, already fulfilled. This is not self-deception, it is the highest form of truth. The world outside you is always playing catch-up to the world within you. Whatever you persist in feeling and believing will eventually harden into fact. The delay between assumption and manifestation is not proof that your belief is false, but merely the natural unfolding of creation. The foolish person abandons their belief when they do not see immediate results, but the wise one holds fast, knowing that what is felt within must appear without in due time. Think of a farmer who plants a seed. He does not dig it up every day in doubt, questioning whether it will grow. He trusts the process. Though he may see only bare soil for days or weeks, he knows that beneath the surface, life is taking shape. He waters the seed, tends to the soil, and waits patiently for the harvest. Just because your senses have not yet caught up does not mean your manifestation is not already on its way. The test of your faith is whether you can remain unmoved by appearances. Many people begin with enthusiasm, affirming their desires and imagining their dreams fulfilled. But when they do not see immediate change, they grow discouraged and return to their old ways of thinking. They let doubt creep in, undoing their own work. True mastery is holding on to your inner vision despite all evidence to the contrary. It is refusing to waver, no matter what the senses show. The world is filled with stories of those who defied appearances and persisted in their vision. The great inventors, the pioneers, the dreamers, they all saw beyond what was and focused on what could be. They ignored the naysayers, ignored the temporary failures, ignored the lack of visible proof, and in time, the world conformed to their belief. You too must live with this certainty. Do not let temporary conditions shake you. What you see today is only the result of yesterday's thoughts. If you want a new tomorrow, you must plant new thoughts today. Assume the feeling of already being the person you wish to be. Let go of the need for proof. Trust that what is real exists first within and the outer world will rearrange itself accordingly. Persist, and you will watch reality bend to match your unwavering belief. Stop asking, stop waiting, stop speaking as if your desire is somewhere in the distant future waiting to be granted. The very act of asking implies lack, and the universe responds not to your words, but to your state of being. If you continuously affirm that something is missing, you reinforce its absence. Instead, speak and think only from the place of fulfillment. Assume that your blessings are already here, and life will conform to your assumption. Most people make the mistake of placing their desires outside of themselves. They pray for abundance while feeling poor. They ask for love while feeling lonely. They wish for success while dwelling in doubt. This separation between what they want and what they feel creates an invisible barrier that keeps their desires out of reach. The truth is, you do not receive what you want. You receive what you are. If you wish to experience something in your reality, you must first embody it in your mind and emotions. This means that instead of asking for what you desire, you must assume that you already have it. If you want wealth, do not say, "I need more money." Instead, think, "I am financially secure and everything I need flows to me effortlessly." If you seek love, do not say, "I hope I find someone who loves me." Instead, think, "I am deeply loved and appreciated in every aspect of my life." Do not wait for external validation to believe it. Believe it first, and the outer world will reflect it back to you. Gratitude is the key to this transformation. When you are grateful for something, you are acknowledging its presence in your life. Most people reserve gratitude for what they can see, touch, and confirm with their senses. But true power lies in expressing gratitude for what is yet to appear, as if it is already yours. This is not pretending, it is creation. Gratitude for the unseen manifests the seen. Imagine a person who constantly says, "I am so grateful for my abundant life," even when their bank account is low. They do not dwell on lack, they persist in the assumption that they are already wealthy. What happens? Their mindset shifts, their actions align with abundance, and opportunities begin to unfold. Compare this to someone who continuously says, "I never have enough money." Their focus remains on lack, and so they continue to experience it. The universe does not respond to your words, it responds to your dominant feelings and beliefs. The same principle applies to every aspect of life. If you desire better health, do not complain about illness. Speak from the state of already being healthy. If you long for success, do not dwell in frustration. Speak and think as if you are already successful. Live as if what you want is already yours and it must come to pass. This is not a matter of forcing positive thinking or denying reality. It is about shifting your identity. When you claim something as your truth, your actions, emotions, and energy naturally align with that truth. You stop trying, chasing, and waiting, because you already are. And once you embody that state, the world has no choice but to mirror it back to you. Think of the person who walks into a room with quiet confidence, as if they belong there. Without saying a word, people sense their energy and treat them accordingly. Now imagine another person who enters with uncertainty, constantly seeking approval. They are met with hesitation and doubt from others. The difference is not in their words, but in their state of being. Your world is a reflection of your inner state. If you wish to see change, you must first become that change. Speak only from fulfillment. Think only from the perspective of already having what you desire. Be grateful now, not later. The moment you stop asking and start embodying, the universe will respond in kind. If you truly had everything you wanted, how would you think? How would you act? How would you feel? The answer to these questions is the key to transforming your life. Most people live in a state of waiting for the right circumstances, waiting for their desires to manifest, waiting for permission to feel fulfilled. But the secret is this: the moment you embody the state of already having what you desire, your reality must shift to match it. Everything in your world is a reflection of your inner state. If you are constantly looking toward the future, hoping and wishing for something to change, you are affirming that it is not yet yours. You are sending a signal to life that you are still waiting. still lacking, still in the process of becoming. But if you live in the end result, if you step into the feeling of already being, doing, and having what you desire, then life will move to align with that state. Imagine a person who desires success, but constantly says, "One day I'll make it." They push their dream into the future, never allowing themselves to feel successful now. Compare that to someone who wakes up each morning with the mindset, "I am already successful. Everything I do flows from this success." This person walks, speaks, and moves with confidence. They embody their vision now, and because of that, opportunities, ideas, and circumstances begin to shift in their favor. They are not waiting to arrive, they already believe they are there. This is the power of living in the end. It is not about forcing external change. It is about shifting internally so that your external world has no choice but to reflect your new state. If you want love, live as if you are already deeply loved. If you desire financial freedom, live as if abundance is your natural state. If you seek health, live as if you are already whole and vibrant. Do not wait for the conditions to appear. Create them within, and they will manifest outwardly. Living in the end is not about pretending or faking it. It is about fully assuming the role of the person you wish to be. Think about actors who immerse themselves in a role. They do not simply recite lines. They become the character. Their posture, their tone, their energy all shift. And as a result, the audience believes in their performance. Now, imagine taking that level of commitment and applying it to your life. You do not act as if something is coming. You become the version of yourself who already has it. Many people hesitate to do this because they fear they will be disappointed. They think, "What if I feel successful but nothing changes?" But this fear is the very thing keeping them stuck. The moment you embrace the end result as your present reality, doubt dissolves and faith takes over. And faith is the creative force that brings your vision into form. When you shift into the state of already having what you desire, your emotions change. You no longer feel anxious or desperate. You feel calm, secure, and grateful. Your actions change too. You no longer chase or force things. You allow them to unfold naturally. And because you are now aligned with the energy of your desire, it begins to materialize in ways you could not have planned. Look around at those who succeed effortlessly. They are not questioning whether they will receive their desires. They already know. They walk through life with certainty, as if the outcome is inevitable. This is because they live in the end. They do not waste time doubting or seeking reassurance. They have already arrived internally, and the world must catch up. So, ask yourself, if you had everything you wanted right now, how would you move through the world? What would your thoughts be? How would you feel? Begin living from that place today. Do not wait. Embody the end result and your reality will shift to match it. Faith is the ability to see beyond what is in front of you, to perceive a reality that is not yet visible to the physical eyes but is already real in the unseen. It is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, the key that unlocks the life you desire. When you believe you are blessed beyond measure, even when your current circumstances suggest otherwise, you activate the unseen forces that turn your belief into reality. Most people are conditioned to trust only what they can see, hear, and touch. They measure their potential by their current bank account, their relationships by the way people treat them, and their worth by the opinions of others. But faith does not operate on these terms. Faith is the knowing that what you desire already exists, even before it appears in the physical world. It is an unwavering conviction that reality is shaped not by external conditions, but by internal certainty. Consider the difference between a person who believes in their success despite challenges and a person who allows setbacks to dictate their belief. The first individual presses forward with confidence, knowing that obstacles are temporary and that their success is inevitable. The second person, however, sees difficulties as proof that their dream is unattainable and gives up too soon. The only difference between the two is faith. One sees beyond the physical. while the other is trapped by it. Faith does not mean ignoring reality. It means understanding that what you see now is only a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. Your present circumstances were created by who you were, but your future is being shaped by who you are becoming. If you remain fixated on your current limitations, you will only reinforce them. But if you hold firm to the belief that you are already blessed, already abundant, already successful, then life will rearrange itself to match your conviction. This is why those who succeed often seem to have an unshakable confidence, even in the face of difficulty. They do not allow temporary setbacks to define them. They do not waver in their belief because they know the truth. Their inner world is the cause and the outer world is merely the effect. By maintaining their vision, by believing beyond what the senses report, they shape the physical world instead of being shaped by it. Think of a gardener planting seeds. If they judge the outcome based on what they could immediately see, they might believe the soil is empty and that nothing is happening. But they trust the process. They water the seeds knowing that something is growing beneath the surface, even though it is not yet visible. They do not dig up the soil every day in doubt. They wait in faith, knowing the harvest is inevitable. This is how you must approach life. You may not yet see the evidence of your blessings, but if you persist in the belief that they are already yours, they will emerge in due time. Doubt is the equivalent of uprooting your seeds before they have a chance to grow. Faith, on the other hand, is the unwavering assurance that what you have imagined is already on its way. Gratitude plays a crucial role in this process. When you give thanks for blessings before they appear, you demonstrate true faith. You affirm that you already possess them in the unseen, and this belief compels them into physical form. When you express gratitude for your success, health, love, and abundance, before any visible sign appears, you align yourself with the reality you desire, and the universe must conform to your assumption. So, do not be deceived by appearances. Do not let temporary challenges weaken your faith. See beyond what is in front of you and hold fast to what you know within. Act, speak, and think from the place of already being blessed. Trust in the unseen, for it is the unseen that shapes the seen. Faith does not wait for proof. Faith creates the proof. Believe now and watch as life unfolds to match your conviction. When you act as if you are blessed with everything, you align yourself with the truth that your inner world creates your outer reality. Your assumption shapes your experience, your feelings set the foundation, and your faith sees beyond the physical. You must learn to ignore temporary appearances, speak only from fulfillment, and live in the end result as if your desires are already yours. When you believe beyond what your senses tell you, you activate unseen forces that bring your vision to life. The key is to embody the state of already having what you seek. Walk with confidence, think from the reality you desire, and trust that everything is unfolding in perfect order. The universe responds not to doubt or desperation, but to certainty and conviction. When you persist in this mindset, the world has no choice but to conform. So today, right now, decide to act as if you are already blessed with everything. Feel it, live it, and express gratitude for it. What you assume to be true will become true in your world. Thank you for listening, and may you walk forward knowing that you are already blessed beyond measure. Close your eyes for a moment. See yourself standing on the threshold of victory, not hoping, not wishing, but knowing. Feel it. The world may not yet reflect this truth, but it does not matter. You have already won. There is no need to seek confirmation from the outside. Others may doubt, circumstances may contradict, but you must remain unmoved. Your assumption, your unwavering conviction is the only reality. Act as if you are going to win, because in truth the battle has already been decided. Do not entertain doubt. Do not concern yourself with obstacles. Every force in this universe is bending to your belief, orchestrating events unseen to fulfill what you have already declared as true. When you walk, walk as the one who has already succeeded. When you speak, speak with the certainty of one whose triumph is inevitable. When you act, act with the confidence of a victor who is merely watching the world catch up to his belief. It is not arrogance, it is not delusion, it is the law of consciousness. What you assume to be true persists until it hardens into fact. The only thing that can delay your victory is your own wavering mind. But if you hold firm, if you persist in the belief that you will win at all cost, the world must obey. So decide now. You are already the winner. You do not need permission. You do not need proof. You are. Let that truth be the only thing you acknowledge, and watch as reality bends to fulfill it. The outcome is certain. The victory is yours. Walk in it. The moment you assume yourself to be victorious, the universe begins to shift in your favor. This is not a theory, nor is it wishful thinking. It is an immutable law that governs all aspects of life. What you assume to be true with unwavering conviction must, by necessity, harden into fact. You do not wait for proof. You do not seek external validation. Instead, you step boldly into the feeling of already having what you desire, and in doing so, you command reality to align with your inner world. There is no force outside of you deciding your fate, no invisible hand weighing your worthiness. You are the creator, the architect of your own experience. The only thing that stands between you and your victory is your willingness to believe it is already yours. The mind left unchecked will seek evidence in the external world, questioning whether success is possible, whether the goal is realistic, whether you are deserving. But those who understand the nature of reality do not entertain such doubts. They move through life with a quiet confidence, an inner knowing that their assumptions will inevitably manifest. Assumed victory is not about hoping for the best. It is not about wishful thinking or blind optimism. It is about stepping into the version of yourself who has already achieved what you seek. If you desire success in any area, wealth, relationships, health, influence, you must assume the identity of the one who already possesses it. You do not wait for circumstances to change before you shift your mindset. You shift your mindset first, and the world must conform. Consider the difference between one who believes they are a success and one who doubts. The successful individual carries themselves differently. Their speech, their posture, their decisions all reflect a deep-seated certainty. They do not question whether they will succeed, they simply know it. This is why opportunity seems to flow effortlessly to those who expect it. Their inner state dictates their external reality. The one who doubts, on the other hand, hesitates, second-guesses, and looks for proof before they commit. But the world does not bend to hesitation. It bends to conviction. The universe responds not to fleeting thoughts, but to dominant assumptions. If you habitually assume that things work in your favor, that you are always in the right place at the right time, that success is inevitable for you, then life must reflect these beliefs. On the contrary, if you assume struggle, if you assume failure, if you assume that the odds are against you, then that too must be your reality. The choice is always yours. Do not be deceived by what your physical senses show you. The present moment is merely a reflection of past assumptions. If what you see contradicts your desire, dismiss it as irrelevant. The only thing that matters is the assumption you hold now. Persist in the belief that you are already victorious, and reality will reorganize itself to prove you right. This is why so many remain stuck in cycles of lack and limitation. They assume based on appearances that things will always be as they are. They allow their current reality to dictate their assumptions, never realizing that it is their assumptions that create reality in the first place. The moment you break this cycle and choose to assume a new truth, you set into motion unseen forces that will move heaven and earth to bring your assumption to pass. There is no power in waiting. There is no power in hoping that one day things will improve. The only power is in assuming it is already done. Walk as the person who has already won. Speak as them. Think as them, and soon the world will have no choice but to reflect what you have embodied all along. Do not hope. Do not wish. Do not see your desire as something far off, waiting to be realized. See it as already completed. This is the key to transforming your reality, the secret that separates those who achieve from those who merely long for a better life. When you live from the end, when you accept your victory as an undeniable fact, the world has no choice but to conform to your assumption. Most people approach their desires as something they must work toward, as if they exist somewhere in the future, waiting to be earned. They hope, they try, they struggle, always reaching but never arriving. This is the mistake. To desire something is one thing, but to assume it is already yours is where the true power lies. The moment you claim something internally, without contradiction, the forces of reality begin shifting to bring it to you. If you see your goal as something in progress, you are telling yourself that it is not yet done. And if it is not done in your mind, it cannot be done in your world. The external reality is merely a reflection of the internal state. If you say, "I am becoming successful," you are affirming that you are not yet successful. If you say, "I am working towards wealth," you are acknowledging the absence of wealth. But when you declare, "I am successful, I am wealthy, it is done," you shift into the consciousness of the one who already has it. This is not about lying to yourself. It is about recognizing that what you assume to be true becomes your truth. Everything you have in your life today is a result of past assumptions you have held. Every limitation, every success, every circumstance is the direct result of what you have accepted as reality. If you want something different, you must assume it as if it is already done. Think of an actor stepping into a role. They do not merely rehearse the part, they become the character. They speak, think, and move as if they are the person they are portraying. Their mind does not waver between reality and fiction. For the duration of the performance, they are that person. This is exactly how you must approach your own assumptions. You are not pretending, you are stepping into a reality that already exists, claiming it as your own and allowing the world to follow suit. There is no need to wonder how it will happen. The how is not your concern. Your only task is to remain steadfast in the assumption that it is already done. Life will organize itself in ways you could never predict, bringing you opportunities, encounters, and shifts that seem almost miraculous. But they are not miracles, they are the natural response to your state of being. Doubt and fear are the only enemies of this process. The moment you question whether it will happen, you create resistance. The moment you look to the outside world for proof, you admit that you do not truly believe. And so you must persist. When doubt arises, return to the feeling of already having what you desire. When fear creeps in, remind yourself that the outcome is certain. The world does not create your assumptions. Your assumptions create the world. Everything you desire already exists in potential. It is waiting for you to claim it. The moment you see it done rather than in progress, you step into the version of yourself that already has it. And when you fully embody that version, the external world has no choice but to reflect it back to you. Your only task is to hold the vision. The details, the means, the unfolding of events, these are not your concern. The moment you set an assumption in your mind, the universe begins working to bring it to fruition, often in ways you could never predict. The greatest mistake people make is obsessing over how their desires will come to pass, trying to control every step of the process, instead of trusting that the path will be revealed. The need to micromanage reality is a sign of doubt, a lack of faith in the unseen forces that govern this world. But those who understand the law of assumption know that their only job is to know that it is done. The how is irrelevant. Look at nature. Do the rivers question how they will reach the ocean? Do the trees worry about how they will grow toward the sun? No, they simply exist, guided by an unseen intelligence that ensures their fulfillment. The moment you set a firm assumption in your mind, all the necessary people, events, and circumstances begin aligning to make it a reality. Your role is not to interfere, but to remain unwavering in your conviction. Think of the times you desperately wanted something and worried endlessly about how it would happen. Did that anxious energy bring it to you faster, or did it only create frustration and delay? Contrast that with times when you knew something would happen, even if you didn't know how. Somehow the details work themselves out, often in ways better than you imagined. This is proof that detachment from the process is the most powerful position you can take. When you declare something as done, life moves to reflect that assumption. But if you constantly check for evidence, if you analyze every step, if you insist on controlling how it will unfold, you disrupt the natural flow. You introduce resistance where none is needed. Your job is to assume the state of the wish fulfilled, to live from the reality where it is already yours. Once you do this, the bridge of incidents will unfold naturally. People often mistake detachment for passivity, but detachment does not mean doing nothing. It means acting from certainty rather than fear. When you are certain of an outcome, your actions are inspired, effortless, and aligned. You move with confidence, knowing that every step is guiding you to your goal. But when you obsess over how it will happen, your actions become frantic, desperate, and misaligned with the very reality you wish to create. Detachment requires trust. Trust that the forces shaping your world are intelligent. Trust that your desire has already been answered. Trust that the world will move in ways beyond your comprehension to bring about the fulfillment of your assumption. This trust is not passive, it is an unshakable inner knowing that what you desire is already on its way. Consider the people who achieve great things. They do not dwell on the details of how it will all come together. They do not waste time doubting whether it is possible. They assume their success as inevitable, and life organizes itself accordingly. They walk in the certainty of their vision, and circumstances mold themselves around that certainty. When you detach from how something will happen, you open yourself to infinite possibilities. What seems impossible from your limited perspective is effortless for the intelligence that governs all things. The route to your desire may be one you never considered. It may unfold in ways that seem miraculous, but that is not your concern. Your concern is only to know that it is done. So hold the vision. Stay unwavering in your conviction. Let go of the need to control the process. The moment you truly release the how, you make way for the impossible to become reality. Winning is not about struggle. It is not about force, effort, or pushing against the world. It is about knowing. The one who truly wins in life is not the one who exhausts themselves with endless striving, but the one who carries a quiet, unshakable confidence that victory is already theirs. This inner certainty is what shapes reality. Not effort, not struggle, not external validation. When you know you have won, when your assumption is firm, every action you take flows naturally, effortlessly, and with purpose. Most people believe that success is earned through toil and hardship. They think that the more they struggle, the more they prove themselves worthy of their desires. But this mindset is rooted in lack. It assumes that what you desire is separate from you, something to be fought for rather than claimed. This is why so many remain stuck, chasing after success instead of embodying it. The truth is, external effort is secondary to internal conviction. When you know something is yours, the actions required to bring it into being happen effortlessly, as if guided by an unseen force. Imagine two people pursuing the same goal. One believes that success is uncertain, that they must fight and claw their way to the top. Every step is filled with doubt, fear, and second-guessing. They overwork themselves, desperately trying to force outcomes, and yet their results remain inconsistent. The other person, however, moves with confidence. They do not wonder if they will succeed, they know they already have. Their actions are taken with ease, not out of desperation, but from a place of certainty. Opportunities seem to appear for them at the right time. Success flows to them with far less effort. Why? Because the one who knows does not resist. They do not create barriers through doubt and fear. They move with the flow of life, allowing their assumption to manifest without interference. This is not to say that action is unnecessary, but the kind of action that leads to success is different from the frantic, fearful effort most people engage in. True inspired action comes from a state of already having. It is effortless because it is aligned with the reality you have assumed. When you are internally confident in your success, you do not hesitate. You do not overthink. You do not operate from fear. You act from knowing, and because of this, your actions are powerful and effective. The world reflects your inner state. If you are filled with doubt, hesitation, and fear, the world will give you more reasons to doubt, hesitate, and fear. But if you carry yourself with certainty, if you walk through life knowing that you cannot fail, the world will reflect that certainty back to you. Everything becomes easier. The right people, opportunities, and circumstances begin to appear, not because you forced them to, but because you assumed their presence and allowed them to come. Think of those who seem to move through life effortlessly, always achieving, always attracting what they desire. They are not more talented, more skilled, or more deserving than anyone else. The difference is that they have already claimed success in their minds. They do not fight for it, they assume it. And because they assume it, reality must conform. The moment you stop trying to win and start knowing that you have already won, everything changes. Your energy shifts, your actions become purposeful, you move through the world differently. And as a result, the world responds to you differently. So let go of the struggle. Let go of the belief that you must prove yourself through effort alone. Step into the quiet confidence of knowing that you have already won. And when you do, you will find that success is not something you chase. It is something that unfolds naturally before you. The world you see before you is nothing more than a reflection of past thoughts, past beliefs, and past assumptions. It is not set in stone. It is not an immovable force. It is a shadow, a delayed response to the consciousness you once held. If you wish to create something new, if you desire to step into a different reality, you must learn to ignore the present circumstances that contradict your vision. What you see today is not a final truth. It is merely an echo of an old state of being. Most people make the mistake of reacting to their current reality as if it is permanent. They allow the world to dictate what they believe rather than allowing their beliefs to dictate the world. They see lack and accept it as their fate. They see failure and assume it must continue. But the one who understands the true nature of reality knows that the outer world is always shifting, always adjusting to match the assumptions held within. When you persist in a new assumption, when you claim success, wealth, love, or any other desire as already yours, you will often find that reality does not change instantly. This is where most people falter. They assume that if nothing changes immediately, it must mean their desire is not coming. But this is only a test of faith. The outer world is slow to catch up, not because your vision is weak, but because reality requires persistence to reshape itself. Imagine planting a seed. When you place it in the ground, do you demand that it sprout instantly? Do you dig it up every few hours to check if it is growing? No. You trust that beneath the soil, unseen forces are at work, pushing the seed toward its inevitable bloom. Reality works the same way. The moment you assume something new, the unseen forces of the universe begin moving, rearranging circumstances, shifting events, and guiding people into place. Your only task is to remain firm in your vision, to trust that what you have assumed is already growing, even if you cannot yet see the proof. If you allow yourself to be swayed by what is happening around you, you will remain trapped in a cycle of the same experiences over and over again. But if you refuse to react, if you hold steadfastly to your inner knowing despite what your senses tell you, reality has no choice but to shift in your favor. History is filled with those who ignored present reality in favor of a greater vision. Every great invention, every breakthrough, every success story is built upon the refusal to accept things as they are. The greatest minds in history did not accept limitation. They assumed their vision was real even when the world said otherwise. They ignored the doubters, the setbacks, the failures, because they knew that reality must conform to the one who persists. This is not about denying reality. It is about recognizing its fluid nature. What you see today is simply the result of old thoughts. If you persist in new thoughts, a new reality must take shape. When your senses try to deceive you, when the world shows you evidence of the opposite of your desire, do not waver, do not react in fear. Simply remind yourself this is temporary. My assumption is the truth. My vision is the only reality. The more you do this, the more power you take back. Reality bends to the one who remains unmoved. Hold firm in your assumption, and you will see the world reshape itself before your very eyes. The world you see is not fixed. It is not independent of you, nor is it something you must fight against. It is fluid, changeable, and entirely subject to the assumptions you hold. There is no such thing as failure, only a wavering mind. The only reason desires seem unfulfilled is that people do not persist long enough for the world to yield. If you persist, if you hold your assumption unwaveringly, the external world must conform. Most people abandon their desires at the first sign of resistance. They assume that delays, obstacles, or contrary evidence mean that what they want is impossible or out of reach. But this is not true. The world is simply testing the strength of your conviction. It asks, do you truly believe? And most people, when faced with doubt, surrender. They assume their assumption was wrong, and in doing so, they collapse the bridge leading to their desire. The only thing standing between you and your fulfilled desire is persistence. Not effort, not struggle, not external action alone, but the unwavering certainty that what you desire is already yours. The moment you make an assumption and refuse to let go of it, reality begins to move. It must. This is law. Your assumption creates the unseen forces that shift people, circumstances, and opportunities into place. The only thing that can stop this process is doubt. The moment you begin to question, what if it doesn't happen? What if I was wrong? You undo your own creation. Look at those who succeed, those who seem to have everything they desire. What do they all have in common? They never waver. They assume that they are destined to win, and they persist in that belief no matter what. Even when the world tells them otherwise, even when their senses contradict their vision, they hold fast. And eventually the world bends to their will. This is the secret. Most people look at external reality and base their beliefs on what they see. But the wise understand that external reality is only a reflection of what has already been assumed. If you do not like what you see, do not react. Persist in your vision, and the world must shift. It does not matter how long it takes. It does not matter how impossible it seems. What matters is that you do not waver. Reality will throw tests in your path. It will try to shake you. But if you persist, if you refuse to accept anything other than your assumption, the world will have no choice but to yield. Think of a sculptor shaping a block of marble. At first, the vision is unclear. The marble is rough, unformed, seemingly far from the final masterpiece. But the sculptor does not stop. They persist, chiseling away, refining, never doubting that the masterpiece already exists within the stone. If they were to stop halfway, they would never see their vision realized. But because they persist, the image emerges, and the world sees what they knew was there all along. Your reality works the same way. You are the sculptor of your life. If you stop halfway, if you let doubt creep in, your vision remains unformed. But if you persist, if you hold your assumption as the absolute truth, then sooner or later, the masterpiece will reveal itself. The key is to live as if you have already won. Act as though your desire is inevitable. Think from the place of already having it, not from the place of waiting for it. When you do this, when you persist no matter what, the world must conform. It has no choice. So, refuse to waver, refuse to be discouraged, hold firm in your assumption, and watch as the world bends in your favor. The truth is simple. The world reflects your assumptions. The moment you assume victory, the forces of reality begin shifting in your favor. You must see your desire as already done, not in progress, and detach from how it will happen. Your only responsibility is to hold the assumption with unwavering confidence, ignoring present circumstances that contradict it. Winning is not about force or struggle. It is about the quiet inner knowing that you have already won. The world will test you. It will present delays, doubts, and distractions, but these are illusions meant to see if you will persist. Most people give up when they don't see instant results, but those who succeed are the ones who refuse to waver. Reality bends to the one who holds their vision without doubt. So, stand firm, assume the end, persist until the world yields. Act as if your victory is inevitable, and soon it will be. Thank you.